now officially a Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
I can see my fantasy, I'm so consumed in bed. What I see takes over me, I'm blind beyond
Ethan.
So as I was saying last week, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you as
Jesus
sacrifice.
fucking
Shut the fuck up!
I really wanted to go a whole episode without having to use it, but you...
I told you, get your fucking finger ready. We were dialing that shit up right off the bat.
Fuck.
Not
we
that
should
finger.
Fuck you. Hi, RJ. How are you?
We have an esteemed guest in the house.
Well, let's get through the intros then. My name is Clinton Davis.
I don't know if I'm esteemed. I'm more just steamed after that episode of Dynamite. Light the fuse, cut that shit, and just don't even let it go boom. Let's just walk away. Find something else to do.
Boom.
You know, it's all about the... No.
All about the All about the... What are you
I would have
doing,
rather be
step
all
bro?
about the Zoom. I would have rather sat through a horrible professional development session from my teacher days on Zoom than watch at least 80 minutes of what I just watched.
You would have...
There was a good
That's where I'm at today, guys, you know?
You
There was a
rather
good
sat
45 minutes of that show tonight.
3 periods of flyer hockey.
Whoa, okay. Now, let's not go that far.
Oh, sorry.
I'll take this Dynamite any day over that. Anyway, sorry, go back to the intros. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. PK Batman.
Very upset.
Jensen Collins 3. Joy on Broad.
That's
On a
right.
Forklift Pod. Channel Snickleflirts on YouTube. For the Rogues. Yeah, that's how simple.
Are you a RJ? Are you a TikTok user? Do you
No.
deal with the
You know what
clock app?
No, see what my wife got me like started on like Facebook Reels, which I guess like import a lot of TikToks. So I just like, I don't know. I feel like at this point I've missed the opportunity to really get on TikTok and to do anything with it. And like I'll probably keep saying that for 4 more years while it's relevant, just waiting for the next thing. But like I got in late on Vine. I'm late on TikTok. But I'm starting to think that I might have to. Why? What's up?
Definitely. The war between the council and the rogues. Clinton can explain it a lot better than I can.
Yeah, there's a war going on right now between people who are trying to keep the unspoken secrets of men. You know, the things that we do that we don't say that we do, but we all know that we do. And there's
Like
a
how our
rogue agent.
pockets are shaped like mittens, and we have that little indent at the top where you can reach over and scratch your balls. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you know how like when you shave your nuts and everything, like you put your nut sack and you make a brain and you just look at it for a second. Like there's a dude revealing all the secrets, which my whole thought on it is that these secrets have kept us wide awake at night for many of nights, and that's why us men are tired. We don't rest because we're always guarding our secrets. So just fucking release them.
Release the Kraken?
Release the secrets, man. Let us rest. We're tired.
The Chamber of Secrets. It's
My
found in
Chamber
your
of
rectum.
Secrets.
Is that what you're saying?
Giuseppe Stromboli and the
Giuseppe Stromboli in the Chamber of Secrets.
There's a running joke between us and our buddy Kevin and my wife. My wife is a huge Harry Potter fan, and Kevin's a closet Harry Potter fan. Just to get that out there on him,
He
knows a lot more about the stuff than he wants to let on. But he claims to be a ghostwriter on the series, even though like age-wise that's impossible, but we don't even address that issue. So he says he claims that the original name for the character is Giuseppe Stromboli, not Harry Potter. Yeah, he said because Italians are magical beings because they're not real.
Gabagool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get really fucked up in our group chats. Like we talk about demons and shit.
There's so much to unpack. And I honestly, I don't even know if I have it in me at this point. I might just have to look. I have scissors. I have kid scissors right here. I'm just gonna let me just unpack whatever that was. Release it into the universe.
Getting bit by a ghost.
We did throw a lot at him.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. It's all over. It's all over before it even started. You know, the funny thing is, no matter where somebody just jumped in at, because we've been live for 5 minutes, and you talked about like a ball sack looking like a brain or something.
Yep.
And then there was like a kid getting bit by a ghost. And somebody might be thinking like, none of this makes sense. Like in little tidbits, maybe there's like a little bit of sense. Did I miss something? That's what like 12 minutes of tonight was, listening to Cody Rhodes. But we'll get there. Of course we'll get there.
No, we're going to go there right now.
No, we're going straight there.
No, we're not.
Have it.
We're not going there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
So,
You can't
as an update here, our format has completely gone from that. There is no rundown of results anymore. Big news tonight. It opened with a Britt Baker, Adam Cole win, and then it closed with Sting and Darby winning.
It opened with John Moxley saying, "Shut the fuck up."
Go fuck yourself. Actually.
Well, you heard what the fans said, right?
Yeah. Get that piece of trash out of the ring.
No, said go get a drink. Get that piece of trash out of the ring. That's why he got so mad.
You see, I missed that first part, but I'm trying not to acknowledge.
There was the shot at the man who just, got out of alcohol rehab. Yeah, let's make that whatever.
Yeah, but no, we don't really we cover the shit we want to cover. Like, if we're gonna go in chronological order, we should start.
Well, should we talk like we do?
Hold on. Over the past 4 years, the one consistent thing that WWE has had is Walter. He was their champion for the UK for over 800 days. I can't remember the exact number. He's already fucking established. Everyone who turns on a WWE television knows who the fuck Walter is. They introduced him to the ring as Walter. He wins an amazing match. Probably the best TV match that NXT 2.0 has had thus far. And he gets on the mic and he says, the winner of this match is Gunther. Gunther Stark.
Also,
they did drop the last name.
heißt Günther. Günther ist sein Name. Und,
we're one step away from his finisher being Feel So Right, okay? That's where we're fucking at.
I told you I believe it should be Sig Heilrazor, but that's beside the point.
well, what he's going to do is he's going to pick the man up and he's going to give him the power bomb. And that would be the Erstreich. And then he will do it again, and that would be the Zweite Reich. And then the third time, it would be the Dritte Reich. What the hell? Like,
what the fuck is up with this company?
I
How
don't
do you
even
not
care
Google
about,
a name you're trademarking?
I don't
Next thing you
care
know, they're
about
going to end
Walter.
up giving him like Daniel
Shut
Bryan's
the fuck
moveset.
up. Walter, my God. Walter versus Ciampa. Walter versus Dragunov. Walter versus Pete Dunne. The list of match of the decade candidates that Walter has had in the WWE NXT banner is insurmountable. He hasn't had a bad match. Oh my God. He's pretty much had a great match with every member of Mustache Mountain. And you're just going to change Gunther Stark, a World War II boat operator for Nazis.
U-boat.
I'm taking U-boat. Thank you.
He was a
Holy
999.
fuck me. What is wrong?
Well, here's
Oh
the
my-
thing.
it pissed me off
you're
so
getting
much.
Upset. You're getting upset about a guy who built his career in NXT UK. Who then
He was
came to
established before NXT UK.
XPW.
Who
Yes,
came
XPW and ICW.
Sure. Who then came to the Rainbow Splash, the finger painted NXT 2.0. And you're upset because they changed his name. Let me ask you something. Do you know who Barry Bonds is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do we know who Barry Bonds is? What did Barry Bonds do?
He was an absolutely fantastic baseball player, and then he got super pissed off at Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa for taking roids, so then he took roids and started hitting bombs into San Francisco Bay.
And he's the all-time home run leader in Major League Baseball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Even
Yeah.
people who aren't baseball fans know who Barry Bonds is. Do you guys know who Mike
Absolutely.
Hessman is?
No.
Mike Hessman is the all-time home run leader in the minor leagues. That's what Walter is. Or at least that's what Walter is to Vince McMahon. So the name doesn't matter because he doesn't care. Because Walter was building a career in a bunch of different acronyms that you put together, a bunch of just different gobbledygook letters that you put together, Vince McMahon doesn't care about that. Why is this surprising? It's not shocking that they rebranded the guy. It's shocking that they gave him the name of a Nazi U-boat commander. Like, that on its own is just, that's the problem. Gunter as a name really doesn't work. They also screwed up. He's Austrian. His name should have been Walter the whole time. Günther, if they're going to go with it, is really the name with an umlaut on it, which isn't an oo sound, which people will never get right because it doesn't really exist all that much in the English language. That's the problem. That's the bigger issue than anything. What somebody has built prior to making the main roster is insignificant. They've showed you this time and time again. They don't care. Vince McMahon doesn't care about what NXT
He
does.
should care,
He doesn't
though.
care about who. Well, he doesn't. And obviously, he thinks that if any of the people who had been part of the black and gold brand were worth their weight in salt, it would have probably paid off in the ratings in some way. They had the opportunity, if we're supposed to believe, like if you're McMahon and you look at it and you say, all right, I'm supposed to believe that Ciampa and Gargano and Cole and this undisputed era, name them all, if they're all so good, and if I sent Finn Balor back and he was that good, they should have killed AEW in the cradle. And they didn't get it done. We talk about how like ratings are bad on Raw and how ratings are kind of hit or miss with SmackDown, which I think is inflated anyway because it's on Fox. You're inherently going to have a higher rating. It's not cable. Mm-hmm. But like, we're not talking about a new era of the WWE because the people that they've brought up to the main roster, whether or not they've bungled their debuts and like the first couple of storylines, those guys haven't been needle movers. They just haven't. So Walter maybe is like the first opportunity because he's a big dude and he looks scary. He looks imposing. Like maybe you could do something with him, but they didn't think they could do anything with Keith Lee. They had the biggest human being in the world in Braun Strowman that they couldn't do anything with. Like, I don't know. Why get so upset? Don't worry. Be happy. Like Ilya Brizgalov.
The fact, bringing up Keith Lee, the fact we didn't get Keith Lee versus Brock Lesnar after that Royal Rumble confrontation is still beyond me.
Well, that brings up a bigger question.
So with the and not that we were going to go down this road, but why not? So with the ratings being so low on Raw and SmackDown, do you think that the writing on AEW has become complacent because they know they don't even have to, not necessarily a subpar product, but they don't have to go above and beyond any longer to continue to garner the attention that they do, just purely based on the fact that people are so sick of the other product that they have to watch on television?
AEW's going through go ahead.
No, my thing is like Moxley came back. They're not utilizing a lot of the top tier talent that are good in the ring. Like, where the fuck is Miro at?
Same. Yep.
Fighting God.
Where's Miro? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so like, where are all this? You have two shows. You have 3 hours across 2 nights across TBS and TNT. Then you've got 2 more hours on Dark and Elevation. Why
useless.
the fuck? Yeah, like, granted, I know it's the women's match next week, but I don't need Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet at Beach Break.
That belongs on Dark.
Yeah, the fact we're getting Adam Cole.
Red Velvet's pretty okay. Layla Hirsch isn't ready yet. She should not be on national.
I think
TV
Layla Hirsch is more ready than Red Velvet.
Nah.
Layla Hirsch is
because here's the problem. And she's also, like as big as my 6-year-old. That's the problem. Sure. The optics of Layla Hirsch are always going to be a problem. She needed to be 3 inches taller. Like it is an issue. It's impossible to unless you're going to try to put her on some ridiculous run. I mean, she's not small and quick where you're going to be able to pull like the Rey Mysterio against Kevin Nash storyline. It doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work. The problem that AEW has right now isn't that they become complacent in the writing. Like conceptually they could be if the ratings were raising, but they're not. Like the ratings have kind of tended to max out between 950 and maybe like 1.1 million since they've gone to TBS, but it hasn't grown. I mean, you look back to like when CM Punk debuted, to when Bryan Danielson debuted. Like there was the thought that they were going to push 1.5, 1.6, 1.8. Could they get to 2 million by like the first quarter of 2022? They're nowhere close. The problem is they don't know what the hell they're doing. Like Tony Khan, if he's the one who really is still writing all the shows and is programming every show, including Dark and Elevation, He's spread too thin and it's showing. He's a spoiled kid. Not the whole billionaire thing. I'm standing in a basement right now where there are toys. Our kids know to put toys away. You put toys away because it makes it feel special when you pull one toy out. You have a visual of all the different toys that you can choose from. Tony Khan is the kid who goes into the basement and pulls every toy out and throws it on the floor, and you can't step anywhere. It's just toys and toys and toys, and everything's mixed. That's what he's got right now. He has old guard AEW.
Has he met my daughter? Is that what the fuck's going on right now?
No, your daughter could whoop all of our asses.
She's a savage.
She's feisty, she'll not only hurt you physically, she'll hurt your feelings.
And those are the scars that you carry on the inside, like Mox.
They hurt. She hurts.
Tony Khan's got so many toys out right now. He doesn't know what to do with them. He's got his old guard AEW that got him to the dance. He's got new guys that he's brought along. He has a bunch of signings that he probably regrets making in the moment because now more talent has gotten let go. And his eye's not on the ball. Like, you can't do a slow burn with everything. At some point, you need to actually pull the trigger on some big matchups between big players. You can't just rehash the Trials of Jericho storyline with MJF and do it again with CM Punk. It's so easy. Last week, we saw the same match, virtually, right? With Hobbs. Hobbs followed Wardlow and Punk, I think, right? Hobbs and Dante Martin. Yep. Same general principle between both matches. It's just like, I think Tony Khan's just run into a creative wall. Bryan Danielson's built up as the second coming. He has 2 matches against Adam Page and he's gone. Where the hell is he at? He's one of your actual most believable. He should be on the show. 2 weeks without him makes no sense. That's one of your biggest draws. That's one of your most believable wrestlers on the roster, and he's nowhere to be found. Miro can go from the hottest act on the show to missing for weeks on end. It's becoming more than just a pattern. It's becoming a legitimate issue. Tony Khan, you almost want to say make Rampage 2 hours so more of these people have screen time, but they're not even doing the right thing to maximize the screen time they're actually giving some of the bigger players. It's kind of sad, honestly. It's sad.
No, this episode, I'm gonna recall on this episode, the one thing I said, I was walking out of the bedroom as CM Punk was making his entrance, and I was on my phone shooting off a text, and I said, you know what? I really hope this match is 5 seconds long, and he just squashes the fuck out of him. And I walk back in the room, and then CM Punk has got the win. So you spent Friday establishing Shawn Spears as a person who can contend with Punk, and you're going to beat him in 5 seconds. Thank you for giving me my wish, but I kind of wish you didn't.
Also, kind of minimizes part of the Pinnacle, which was supposed to be your next big faction that petered out after the Inner Circle thing went. It's dumb. If anything, it should have been a disqualification win for Punk because Spears gets caught off guard and Spears goes to the chair and he just decides that he's going to make a display out of Punk. He's just going to send a message that way and Punk will get the win, but Spears is going to do the damage because Wardlow was able to actually do it within the constraints of the match. Spears, after getting beaten, after getting squashed like that, should have gotten back in the ring with the chair and just gone to town. It minimizes him. It makes the whole thing look dumb. The only thing that it does in terms of week over week is it makes Wardlow look that much better from last week.
Yeah.
It makes the fact that he was so dominant look so much better by comparison.
And when Wardlow fucking turns on MJF, I'm going to have the biggest fucking erection that you've ever fucking seen.
Can it wait until 2024 when they might pull the trigger on that one? Or, do we think Tony's actually going to, do something soon?
He's going to do something. I think they're going to build that up to Revolution. It's going to happen at Revolution. So, Punk versus MJF is a pay-per-view match. You're dumb to give that away on TV.
So that poses the other question like this. Where we're talking about, we're talking about things that don't make sense. I don't personally have a problem with Lance Archer as a wrestler. He's not the future of your company. Why are you bringing that to the stage for your next challenger for the spot? I understand that you probably just need a bridge to get you to where Double or Nothing's going to happen. I don't have a problem with that, but use a guy who's got a future. You've got a guy who's been running a program against Team Taz and Dante Martin. He's sitting there. If you want to utilize your rankings, he's number 3 on the rankings. Number 2, whatever he is. Number 1 is Adam Cole. You're having a program with him right now with the Orange Cassidy thing. I don't have a problem with that. Orange Cassidy's sitting at number 4 on your list.
You don't have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with them doing that.
Can we come back
right
to?
now.
Can we come back to that after your?
No, we can. I don't have a problem with it doing it right now because it's going to end next week. I see an end point for that program. I don't see that program carrying on past that lights out.
Wait, go ahead and keep talking.
And so the other thing that it sits at is if you're going to utilize these rankings, you're going to have this system that you want to instill, then use it. Because you've got Lance Archer showing up who does not have a number 1 contender shot, doesn't have anything, and he had 0 momentum coming back. He's 44 years old, and so it's your excuse to put Dan Lambert on TV again and Jake the Snake. I like Jake, but I don't need to see him on my TV every week. To me, Lance is just a sideshow attraction. He should just be the muscle in a faction at this point. He's not a main stage player, and personally, I think he's kind of a liability at this point, considering the last couple of times that he's been out is because of injuries that have happened to him based upon shit that's happened in the ring, not just like, oh, he pulled something while he was, while something was going on, or just regular stuff. It was botches that injured him. So why do you put him against Adam Page? Plus, the size difference doesn't make sense. He doesn't have a following. He's not a heelish guy.
He barely beat Frankie Kazarian tonight.
Well,
that's an issue I have.
Just the MJF stuff, the MJF and Punk stuff should have ended weeks. It should have ended weeks ago, and it should have ended, truthfully, in my opinion, with MJF winning, and it should be MJF versus Adam Page right now for the title. That should be what you're building towards is for that match.
The problem is they have so many guys right now who I think they've taken the shine off. I think that the Adam Cole Orange Cassidy thing is maybe the stupidest booking that's happened so far this year. I know that Clint, I know you're a big you like your comedy and wrestling, but it's, to me, we're past it. I'm past it. Orange Cassidy, oh, he actually cares now. That's great, and it's great in small doses, but Adam Cole looks like a nobody at this point. The guy, we were supposed to be excited about Adam Cole. I wasn't an NXT guy. I didn't watch. I get the Undisputed Era was a thing. I get that a lot of people were really behind him. I remember watching, I was after the Saudi Arabia show where they had to bring in all the NXT talent because so many guys were stuck on the runway. And didn't he fight Daniel Bryan? Right? Or he fought Seth Rollins?
On a SmackDown.
Yeah, it was on SmackDown, but yeah.
Yeah.
On the SmackDown,
it was a great match. And I was like, oh.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I can see it. The guy's a really good in-ring worker. I get it. Now I see why people are so into this dude. He doesn't look like that guy in AEW. It doesn't make sense. This is where Tony Khan's got the issue. The Young Bucks, with their comedy, with their Brandon Cutler camera thing, does not work in any way with what the Undisputed Era side of things is supposed to be. You're cheapening whatever kind of realism was supposed to exist there with that faction whenever you've got the Cutler stuff in it. And Adam Cole in a multi-week rivalry with Orange Cassidy to me is just a waste.
It is.
You're not raising Orange Cassidy, who by the way isn't the future of your company. He's a good merch seller. He's an entertaining mid-card guy, but you've lowered now the stock of Adam Cole to put him in this thing with Orange Cassidy. There was no way to put these two together and for Adam Cole to look like a more legitimate competitor, tough guy. It's an issue. And he would have actually been a really good one to at some point put in a feud with Hangman for the title. If that's where you were going to try to go. And he's got this really good faction behind him. And this faction that's got some realism to them. This faction that's got some edge to them. And instead, you've had them just kind of running around with the Young Bucks, the will they, won't they fight. We're doing the comedy segment. We've now taken Britt Baker, who's the women's champion, and now she's a second fiddle, a fifth fiddle last week, and today, I don't know. It's just it's too convoluted at this point.
They
don't keep it simple with AEW now.
Not to add more into this, But generally, but the way that wrestling used to be structured is you would have a build-up, then you would have a pay-per-view that would be your blow-off match, and if it was a large storyline, say Miss Elizabeth, Randy Savage, Rick Rude, shit like that, it would go on for a longer extended amount of time. Or they would break. They would always kind of bring it up, but it would always be in the back of people's minds. Is there a problem? And I know they give these matches away on free on television. You have your special editions, you have your Fighter Fest, you have your beach break, shit like that. Is this a problem because there's not a pay-per-view between Full Gear and Double or Nothing? So you're going essentially a 6-month time without a big blow-off to something like that. I know you had Battle for the Belts, but that was just... That
horrible
was stuff that was just wrapped up and thrown together really quick. I think this, in personal opinion, this boils down. You have way too many people in this thing. You're doing the WCW thing, but at an accelerated pace. You have way too many people in this company to keep everybody straight, give everybody the fair shake, give everybody the shine that they need to have.
I'm going to cut you off there for a second. There is a pay-per-view in between Double or Nothing and Full Gear. It's all out.
Revolution's
in March, right?
Revolution is the first week of March, and then Double or Nothing is the last week of May.
Okay, so
their pay-per-views are very evenly spaced out. It's just they have too much top tier talent that when you're doing these pay-per-views, you're doing something like, and I'm not complaining here, Darby Allin versus MJF.
But the problem is they don't use enough of that top-end talent against other top-end talent. You're not raising anybody's game. That's the problem.
The thing is, Adam Cole got into this program with Orange Cassidy while Hangman was in a program with Bryan Danielson. So right now, Adam Cole's finishing up this program while Hangman is fucking, has his hands full. In my opinion, not someone. It better be a fucking give it a Rampage. Title match, main event or Rampage. That's how much that title match means to me. And then you start building Adam Cole versus Hangman up for the pay-per-view. And then, I don't know. Yeah, Adam Cole just definitely needs to be some top 5 talent. He's beating Jungle Boy.
All three of your divisions are in a horrible state of flux right now. There's no consistency between them. You've got guys down in the tag team belts, which I don't have a problem with the Max Caster and the Anthony Bowens, but those are guys that you're going to see go against Jurassic Express. They're going to lose. They're going to put on a decent match. They're going to get some exposure. They're going to lose. They're going to get knocked back down the rankings. What I want to see go against Jurassic Express is guys like Santana and Ortiz. That's a tag team that should be motivated and chasing the belts. That's
are guys a pay-per-view match.
But those are guys that need to do it. It's everything is so bloated. It's so saturated with so many teams that it feels like nothing can get ahead. And it's not like a 50-50 booking issue. It's that there's not enough TV time for all of these guys to get on there. Private Party is a team that you push really heavy early on, and then you let them fall to the back of the line. FTR is doing the AAA thing. I think one of the worst things.
FTR's MIA.
I know.
FTR is doing better stuff on Twitter in this thing with the Briscoes on Twitter than they're getting time on any of the 3 hours of national TV. FTR is a good team.
With the World this weekend.
Yeah, that's where I think FTR is going to pop up next, is in the GCW Hammerstein Ballroom show, because the Briscoes are defending tag gold there, and
Open
GCW's got a really nice working partnership with AEW. So,
but regardless of that, you have to be able to utilize this talent on your TV show. There's got to be a give and take with this stuff. You have to be able to do that. So the Briscoes going to show up on AEW. Who the fuck knows when? I think one of the biggest damaging factors that you had happen here is the injury to Phoenix. So you took what was your movement here was not for Jurassic Express to win the titles. It was going to be Lucha Bros. It was going to be versus the House of Black. So that's what it was moving towards. And then because you had Death Triangle was inevitably going to happen. You were going to have House of Black with whoever their third member is versus Death Triangle. My personal opinion on that. That got derailed. But now it seems like everything's in flux. I don't have a problem with the Jurassic Express holding the titles. I think they'll be good champions. But when you're trying to set up for your first match is Billy Gunn's kids against Jurassic Express, that's a 1-week show. Get it out of there. I don't need to see Billy Gunn on my television.
Do you follow the product? I have to keep correcting you tonight.
What are you talking about?
They had a tag title defense on Friday.
There was just a promo tonight about Christian and Billy
Yeah,
Gunn.
you said their first title defense.
No, I'm saying what I meant is the first title challenge that
Oh, okay.
those guys are going to have is this. I don't need that.
Yeah.
If you want to have those guys win something, win like a tag team tournament to get a title shot to give them some clout, even though they're gonna lose. What's up, LT? So it's just everything's there, and the women's division's no better right now.
No.
I think the only good thing going on in the women's division as to where you're at is Jade Cargill, but you still don't have a quality challenger for her. She needs that belt to build up what she is, which she will be a star, and I think that's about the best spot for anybody is that TBS women's.
Yeah.
Well, the problem there is that Tony Khan decided that he was going to compare her to Goldberg, which I don't even know. At this point, it's like they like can't stop shooting themselves in the foot. Like the concern that I raised before about like the fact that the audience isn't growing is probably because there are people who aren't as committed. Like I think we've all been with this company since day one. We wanted to see it succeed. So we were invested in it emotionally. We had our fandom, invested in it. People who are casual fans who are checking it out because they saw that like the guy they knew as Daniel Bryan was fighting for the title, those people aren't going to come back. They'll come back whenever Daniel Bryan's on. They might stick around if they know that CM Punk's on TV, but they could just as easily find a clip on Twitter or on YouTube. Because the problem is that like the show's not cohesive. Like this is, to me, like the biggest fundamental issue with AEW right now. Like, you mentioned WCW because of the roster bloat. Last week's show was like getting towards the end of the WCW run, where every match has a schmaz ending, or has somebody running out, or has somebody interrupting a promo, or has somebody interrupting on commentary, and it's all an effort to try to get as many people on TV as possible. But it doesn't work. And what it ends up just doing is creating a disjointed program. Like, tonight's episode was all over the place. This was like very clearly like ADHD booking. And it's been like that for a few weeks at least. And like at some point it's somebody has got to sit Tony Khan down. Like William Regal's out there, right? Mm-hmm. Regal is a guy who has gravitas, who has clout in the industry, who could come in and like hopefully help to like hone this guy. I think that what we found, and this comes back to like a fear, is that like Tony Khan might have gotten a little bit too high on the initial success of the company and believes that he can do no wrong and isn't willing to listen. Like, I'm not so sure the Briscoes are going to show up because I don't think the Young Bucks like the Briscoes, and I don't think the Young Bucks like FTR, and I don't think they like that kind of match, and they're not interested. And so if the Young Bucks, who just got re-upped a few weeks ago, are in Tony Khan's ear, are they really going to want to have the Briscoes come in and beat the shit out of them? I can't imagine they would. Like, to me, you're looking at, again, the product doesn't make sense together. It's too many different kinds of things. You have your like funny guys over here, you have your hard asses over here, and then you have this like weird group that's kind of in the middle. But ultimately, like only a third of the talent that we're seeing on TV actually belongs on national TV, and the rest of it belongs on Dark and Elevation. Like, that's the truth.
What was it? They had the Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler feud from Dark, where both of them had 0 wins, and they started putting them in matches together, and that was main eventing Dark. Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet shouldn't even main event Dark. Like, fucking Frankie Kazarian and Murder Hawk is a Dark main event to me. There's so much TV time. Hold on. I shut your fucking mouth. You've talked so much. I'm going to hit you with the button.
I think he's talking to you.
Yeah, I'm definitely talking to you.
But he hasn't even said that much. I've been on this freaking.
Oh yeah, no, he has.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, he gets on a fucking soapbox and he never shuts the fuck up. That's why I have this.
Shut the fuck up.
Because he doesn't understand that. He just goes on these rants.
I'm Team Ethan right now.
Actually, when you're done, I have a question for Russ. I think I got something.
No, because the only thing I want to hear out of Russ now, is I want to hear him decipher that Cody promo.
Which leads into this.
And do you think that because the reason that they haven't settled this whole Cody contract thing is because Tony and Cody are very much the same person at this point? They both.
I don't know.
This harkens to they feel like they can't do any wrong and they don't recognize their own flaws. And to me, that's a character trait they both have right now.
There's honestly part of me right now that thinks that Cody sees what's happening. And the promo today was weird. There were some moments where the alluding to, this is why I said I wouldn't turn heel. Like, it makes sense conceptually for him to turn heel. Like, it's where everybody wants it to go. It'll sell a lot of merch. It'll do some big numbers. It'll be like a really great thing. But he doesn't want to do it, I guess. And I thought for a while that they were going to like tap into the delusional thing. He had that t-shirt that said win or loser, or it was a babyface, heel, winner, with his little neck tattoo on winner. And so I was like, all right, are we just going to kind of tap into the delusion for a while? The promo that he cut tonight was weird because he said the whole thing about like, I was going to save this promo, but I don't know if I'm going to have the chance to. And there's part of me that's like, all right, well, is he just working the crowd right now? And is he working like the part of the fan base that like is up on all of the rumors? Or is there like a little bit of being genuine in it that like he doesn't know if he's going to have another shot because like maybe things have gotten really ugly backstage with him and Tony Khan, or with him and the Young Bucks, or with him and whoever. And like, I want to believe that it's all storyline. I want to believe that where this ends up is Cody starts to like hint that he's going to take the TNT title to New Japan, or he's going to take the TNT title to Ring of Honor when it starts. He's just going to hold the title hostage, and they're going to have to go back to this interim thing. It's going to kind of be, I guess, like what Will Ospreay is doing, right? Where he's got the other belt, or he had the other belt for a while. Like, maybe that's the goal. But the promo didn't make sense. Like, I thought initially that he was making a joke about Jay Lethal's, like, accusations. But what I read on Twitter from a lot of people was, like, he was actually trying to compliment Jay Lethal for being a really good pro wrestler. But what I heard was what I thought was, like, alluding to the abuse thing that apparently was, like, a Jay Lethal thing in the past. So that was muddied. That's bad. Whenever you muddy the waters that poorly, you've done a bad job. Talking about the fact that, like, O'Reilly and Fish are developmental and I don't need to see them beat developmental. Again, like, that's another shot. It's kind of unnecessary. I don't think it really helps anybody. It kind of buries those guys. It doesn't lift Cody.
It does. Like, what the fuck are you going to do with them when you tell them that they're you're trying to push them at this big, hot tag team. You're like, yeah, you're just a developmental team.
And for clarification, They were both, while Cody was Ring of Honor champion, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly were also Ring of Honor tag team champions.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So you've got that. What else did I miss from the promo? It was all over the place.
Called out Punk.
He alluded to the pipe bomb at the beginning.
Yeah, because he wanted to set the stage that this was going to be his pipe bomb. Well, it wasn't. It was incoherent. There were some elements to it that made sense. There were a couple of strands that like held parts of it together, but like it was just ranting. This guy does not know how to cut a good promo because he doesn't have the feel for it. He rehearses, he workshops, he runs it past 7 other people, and then he goes out and he tries to just recite memorized lines. He's not his dad. He needs to get over the fact that he's not his dad. Like this doesn't work. Nothing about it feels genuine. That's the like at all.
I think Cody's biggest flaw is he's not more like his brother. His brother understood that he was never going to be. He limited the amount of time that he talked because he knew he wasn't going to be his dad. He distanced himself from his dad with his character. His first character, the Natural, clearly wasn't going to distance himself because he had to have some kind of establishment of who he is. But like the Goldust character and people and that whole evolution of that character distanced himself from that so far that unless you knew that he was Dusty's kid, you didn't know. Like, you couldn't tell.
Yep.
And he's got a little bit of that charisma that's part of the Rhodes family. Like, Cody has natural charisma, but he tries so hard to be something he's not that it ends up getting lost in the shuffle. And it's kind of an unfortunate thing. I feel for the guy in regards to that. But at the same time, I also can't disagree with you on him seeing possibly something else going on. Him seeing the disruptions backstage or the just in general, and looking at alternative options. Now, I don't like the call outs, the names, the everything like that. I don't like that. I don't think that helps your brand that you're allegedly a VP of to continue to make the just stop. It's been 3 years, guys. You can stop bashing WWE. They do a good enough job of their own.
Yep. You don't have to bring up the Gunter thing. That's just like a cheap pop.
Mm-hmm.
Does nothing to advance a storyline. Does nothing to elevate yourself or your product.
And not
It's
a good
just
cheap
looking-
pop. Washington,
No.
D.C.
It's bad.
No,
That promo was bad.
I'm gonna watch Beach Spray next week. I'm gonna see what happens because next week we got the Rumble too. So AEW's got to compete with, in my opinion, WWE's best pay-per-view of the year.
Which is
Well, just
also
wait
gonna
until
be
Cody
something-
Rhodes. Wait till Cody Rhodes climbs up that ladder, and he takes a look at Sammy Guevara, and he says, "Sammy, I'm gonna take this title with me to the Ring of Honor. I'm gonna take it to the Royal Rumble, and I'm gonna fight Roman Reigns." That's what's gonna happen.
Listen, last week I said if you're gonna have an Forbidden Door situation, Punk needs to enter at number 30, win the Rumble, win the belt off of Roman at Mania, take it to AEW, and shit on the title in the middle of the ring opening Dynamite.
What's your prediction on this? If they do something like this, if they have an outside talent come in,
They're not.
who do you think?
Frankie
going to.
Kazarian.
I
not- they're not
think
gonna
it's
say-
either. I think it's Moose
Why?
or W. Morrissey.
Moose.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Moose would
somebody from
great.
Impact. Like, why? You might get one in. Like, maybe you'll get somebody from New Japan or somebody who's like got a New Japan track record who like has been working on like a match by match contract or something. Like,
If he wasn't injured, it would be Danhausen.
Actually, he has a contract with A&W now.
Yes, he does.
He works
Oh,
for
they
them.
make good burgers too. They make very
Yeah, they
nice
do.
burgers. Been too
Although-
long since I've had one.
Oh, man. We've got like 17 AEWs within a 10-mile radius of us.
Oh man,
I
don't
like
go to that one on
it-
Ford Road.
Moose would be really cool in the Royal Rumble, but that's about it. Like, there's
Yeah, I mean that's what we're asking. It's not like
the
they're gonna
idea
win.
that like people are the idea that people are like, oh my god, can you imagine AEW is gonna knock down the Forbidden Door? Why? What? Who does that benefit? I'll
Right
tell you who
now-
it benefit. It benefits like Fox if Fox were to buy the WWE. Like the rumor that was out there about Fox like having interest in potentially doing it. If a TV network were to buy the WWE, okay, then it does, because then it creates real intrigue. Because then it's like, wow, you've got these companies that supposedly were doing battle, these companies who are cognizant of one another, and like, we're really doing this. We're actually going to see potential crossover between the two biggest companies in the world right now. But it's not going to happen. It doesn't make any sense to do it because there's no scenario in which an AEW talent comes out of the Royal Rumble looking better for it. I mean, even if you were going to say like, all right, well, Jericho's going to be a Hall of Famer, like, would Tony
Jericho's
Khan let
got
Jericho
go-away
go?
heat with me at this point.
Yeah, well, and that's the other problem. Like, what are you going to do? Like, if, all right, here's the only way that Jericho shows up in the Royal Rumble. The trios match goes down. Santana and Ortiz turn on Jericho, and little do we know, Jericho's going away for a while. And so he's going to show up at the Royal Rumble, and then it's like, whoa, will he be on Raw? Will he be on SmackDown? Is he just going back to AEW? And he just pieces out for a few weeks and like doesn't do any wrestling. Like, if anybody were going to do it, I guess it'd be Jericho, but like, I don't know who that benefits. And Jericho's doing nothing of value right now for AEW anyway. Like, if you told me that his contract ended after Beach Break next week, I'd say, all right, Like, what are we doing? Like, he serves no purpose right now, which sucks because he's probably one of my 3 favorite wrestlers ever. But everything's been bad with him in the last 6 to 8 months.
GFY is going to annoy the piss out of me.
Well, clearly Moxley had no problem saying what that was.
Yeah, Moxley had no problem actually saying what it meant.
Oh my goodness.
So you know what? While we're on the subject of the Royal Rumble, why don't we, since it's a week away, next week we're not doing a top 5 list this week, but we're going to do one next week, and we're going to count down our top 5 favorite Rumbles of all time, which I know Ethan and I are going to fight over number 1. So let's go.
Mine is, so I don't
who
care.
do we think is going to win the Rumble for the men and the women this year? Russ, we'll start with you. You're the guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Brock Lesnar. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. And it's not going to be because he loses to Bobby Lashley. He's going to beat Bobby Lashley. Here's how this is going to go. We're going to start the show with Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. First match of the night. Lesnar's going to win. And then people are going to go, oh, all right, well, maybe it's going to be like a shady tactic that it's like, all right, well, is Lashley going to challenge Lesnar again at WrestleMania? But no, Lesnar is going to enter the Royal Rumble with the title around his waist. He's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to challenge Roman Reigns to a champion versus champion match at WrestleMania. That's not going to happen. I want it to happen. I would love that. No, they're not going to unify. The only way you know what? I've been like very much in the camp of WWE wants to sell more merchandise, so they'd like to have a red belt and a blue belt. But you know what they don't have? A purple belt. If they unified it temporarily, you theoretically, like, you could have a unified title for like a few months, sell that merch, and then ununify them. You could. They're stupid enough to do it.
Just glue the WWE, the big WWE logo, to the old cruiserweight belt that had the purple belt. So it's just ridiculously fucking size.
I want everything 205 live. We're just going to take the 205 off. And you can put Raw on it or SmackDown on it. Everything's going to be purple. We're going to be unified.
Just a spray painted 7 on it, and it's all just 275 live.
Well, who do you think's going to win the Women's Rumble then?
Me? Not me. I'm not going to win it.
Russ for the Women's Royal Rumble.
Am I a free agent?
Is Mickie James going? No, Mickie James isn't going to win it. Tony Storm's going to win it. Tony Storm's coming back. Oh, that's right. Because Tony Storm didn't matter to Vince McMahon either. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win it, and I honestly don't think it matters.
Ethan,
I'm so checked out on the WWE product. It's like whatever.
Bianca Belair is going to win for the 2nd year in a row.
Yes, that's what I believe too for the women.
That would be fine. I'll piggyback that.
Yeah,
Bianca it is.
It's either that or they're going to nostalgia trip this, and Lita's going to win.
Lita versus Charlotte ain't a bad match.
The men's Rumble depends a lot on injury. I think there's potential for McIntyre to win.
Mm-hmm.
The other person, I am going to go on an outside shot with this one, and I think that this is definitely too soon to pull it for this person, but I think that there is a possible shot that Braun Breaker could win the Rumble.
I hate you.
Why?
That ain't gonna happen.
But
they're gonna keep him as far away from the Rumble as possible.
So I gave you my realistic one, which I think if he's cleared from it, I think Drew McIntyre wins. If not, I think there's an outside chance that Braun Breaker could win. They are fast tracking that dude to get to the main roster because he's the only thing they have that's a homegrown star that's younger than 30. I don't even know how old Reichsteiner is at this point. But
I honestly think that you have a better shot of Grayson Waller winning the Rumble than Braun
I'm
Breaker.
not upset at that. I'm not fucking upset at that. I actually like
Austin
that dude.
Theory going to win the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
you know what,
fuck
though?
me. Yeah.
You know what, though? He's not wrong. You're not.
With
That's
Vince
not
McMahon helping.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon is going to come out and pull some shenanigans.
Listen, here's
And
my
that's
thought.
not an Austin theory. That's an Austin reality. Huh?
Here's my thought on the Rumble real quick. First of all, if one of you bust out the Steiner Math promo, I'm cutting the feed. That's one.
The Steiner Math promo. I already did that to you this morning.
Oh, I hated it so much.
I know.
2.
It's 141 2/3 chance that.
Shut the fuck up!
Any hoozle. I think Kevin Owens is going to win. You just signed him another 3-year major deal because I think Seth Rollins is going to beat Roman Reigns. I think Brock's going to cost Roman his match.
I think there's a 25% chance at best of that happening. If you add Paul Heyman to the mix, then the chances are actually going to go down. Maybe there's like a 3-way at WrestleMania, and then that gives you like a 33% chance of winning. But I think that like ultimately Brock Lesnar will get in there and he'll have a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Roman Reigns knows he can't.
Russ, welcome to the club.
Shut the fuck up!
Oh, Jesus.
But before I was so rudely interrupted, but Seth Rollins can take his 33 1/3 minus Brock Lesnar's 25%, and that gets him an 8 1/3 chance of winning at WrestleMania. But then if you take the 75%, yeah, okay.
Man. What a trip. What is
Scott
just an
Steiner's
absolute trip.
math promo was better than Cody Rhodes, whatever the hell that was tonight.
You know why Scott Steiner's math promo was better than that? Because Petey Williams is sitting there doing the flexing the entire time. And in his eyes, you can see every time. I don't care that he was wearing sunglasses and fucking chainmail through the entire thing. He's looking. You could just barely see his eyes going, what the fuck is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
What was that girl's name? What was the backstage interviewer's name? Lauren something?
Wasn't it Christy Hemme?
was that Christy Hemme?
It was Christy Hemme, I believe. I've been wrong before, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one.
No, not unless, no. Christy Hemme is not blonde. What is her name? I'm finding this out right now.
It'll be easier to find than Judy Bagwell's
Who's
home
winning the
address.
Royal Rumble?
Kevin Owens. They
And
just signed him to $3 million a year. Oh, the women's Bianca Belair. I think she's going to beat Becky for the belt at Mania.
Lauren Brooke Thompson.
sure, that sounds right.
She works for Golf Channel now, so okay.
Good for her.
Golf's fun.
It is.
We should go to Top Golf soon.
Yeah, anyway, so wait, hold on. What was your opinion for women?
That's what we call a transition. That's a segue.
That's
You should have heard his
absolutely
fucking
fantastic
segues
segue.
last week because I fucking wanted to stab him in the goddamn knife with.
I was doing a goddamn good job.
You only have a 50%
Guys, can
chance
we-
of winning.
Can we talk about the real biggest issue that happened this week?
gotta-
Microsoft purchasing Activision. What the hell is that?
time for
Yes,
this.
a monopoly is on the way. I'm super pumped
What
on it.
is that?
We're gonna end
Like-
the wrestling segment of the night and move on to gaming chat for the next 7 minutes.
You're welcome.
Like what? Like why? Why?
So here's I have a theory. I've been discussing this with coworkers all week, basically since
2
yesterday.
days. 2 days.
So it's Wednesday. It's basically
well,
a
it's
week
only
at
the
this
third
point.
day of the week. So.
Yep. So my theory on this is they don't give a flying fuck about the actual Activision part of the brand. I think they are going to completely cut ties with the Activision name itself because of the other things that come with that. They're interested in the IPs and the Blizzard side of things. They're going to clean house on the Blizzard like CEO scale or whatever it is. Because they want the Warcraft, the Starcraft, the Diablo, the Overwatch, those money makers, because they basically print money. And then all of the other IPs that you get through the Activision name, you can put under different banners because like they don't even make shit anymore for themselves.
Listen.
They contract it out.
Listen, Final Fantasy 14 has shown that an MMO RPG can work on a console. We're one step closer to World of Warcraft being on console. I'm super pumped for that because, just because he's saying stuff. Oh, there was no gaming news last week.
Guys, could we have a real conversation here about what happens when Microsoft decides to do the crossover that we've all been hoping for the last 15 years? Can a brother get some Call of Duty by Halo action? That's right, I want to see Master Chief poning the Nazis. That'd be the greatest thing I've ever seen. I want to bring the Arbiter back with his energy sword to take down Gunter Stark's Nazi WWE Combine U-boat. It's gonna be amazing. They're just gonna jump in the water.
The Space Nazi DLC for Halo Infinite.
Ah, you thought you would be leaving the solar system
I
so
literally
easily.
hope if that ever happens, it's just a fucking U-boat in space with 2 fucking engines strapped to it. So it just looks like the whatever that thing was, the Razor Crest from fucking Mandalorian.
Cortana's gonna like get put into Gunter's helmet, and he's
Shut
just
up.
like, she's just gonna.
Shut up.
Hi, how can I help you? Oh, well, thank you for asking. I'm very confused. Is that Venus that I'm saying? I'm so sorry, I can't understand you. Can you please try to speak a little bit more clear? I said, ich hab gesagt, können Sie mir bitte helfen? You know?
Tries
But
to send the grunts to an internment camp.
Oh, no, I'm out.
Oh shit! Oh, he broke him. He left. Oh my goodness. Hey, look, the grunts are people too. In other news this week, we learned that the Jewish community actually turned on Anne Frank when they offered up their own people. So that just tells you that regardless of race, religion, or creed, there are scumbags in the world. Clinton, what's your opinion on this Activision thing?
I'm gonna go to bed.
Sir, there are 2.5 minutes left, and I want to talk to you. I also haven't seen you in like 4 weeks. So
Well, I had COVID, goddammit. You're
Yeah,
gonna see
I
me
know,
next
dude.
Saturday for the Rumble.
You had the Bananarama, or I could see you this Sunday if you come over and we watch GCW.
Because everyone knows I put in my fucking 2 weeks, so I might end up having to work on Sunday because I'm actually quitting on the
Show,
20th.
I think the show starts at 9, doesn't it?
9, then I might be able to make it over.
I can tell you right now.
We can just sit on the couch and hold each other's dicks like good old days.
Yep.
We got Russ to leave again.
GCW. Wow, he's just walking away. Actually, it starts at 8 on Sunday. So
Yeah, there's a
potential.
pre-show too with the Pabst Blue Ribbon Battle Royale.
Yeah, hey Russ, if you haven't seen anything about this show, not that we're gonna go back to wrestling a lot, but it's Jeff Jarrett versus Effie, and that's really the real reason I want to watch this show. So
I saw Jeff Jarrett showing up. I saw that.
That fucking guitar
saw that.
shot on Alley Cat was stiff as fuck.
The one that he hit on, what's his name, Effie? And he's like dragging him around the ring with his head
that
still in the
sucked.
guitar. I was a fan of that. All right, Jeff Jarrett.
that's where we're
fucking
getting.
awful.
That's what we're getting on Sunday. So Russ, though, real quick, your opinions on this that don't rely on space Nazis to make up things. The whole Activision Microsoft acquisition.
I think it's like I read something today that like for Microsoft this really doesn't matter. It apparently cratered Sony's stock like 13%, 14%. But Sony's got like a third of their business is tied to games, whereas like Microsoft, it's a whole lot less. So the loss of any kind of major property is like way more impactful on Sony than it is on Microsoft. Microsoft could theoretically go and just like shut it all down and it wouldn't matter. The thing that scares me is whenever you start getting into these like kind of exclusive deals, the content quality is going to drop. It happens almost uniformly across the board. My concern is like we've actually started to see what it looks like where developers are allowing for cross or for multi-platform games, right? For like cross play. And like this scares me a little bit because like I don't know, I have a lot of friends who play Call of Duty, and I don't like it as much as I used to like Halo. But like the idea that like if I wanted to play Call of Duty, I'd have to get an Xbox now, like I wouldn't be too thrilled about that. The same way I'd be upset like if Sony decided to like respond by buying EA. Like that would be weird. And I don't think it would benefit anyone. Because then it would take most sports games and sports licenses exclusively to PlayStation. Like, I don't know.
I'm with LT on this one. I'm a Sony fanboy at heart always, but they haven't done shit with this console launch. They got like 3 exclusives out, and they are about to lose every fucking major title.
I don't think that.
Which is true. I don't think Call of Duty is in danger at all.
No,
of being a
I don't
console
think there's a
exclusive.
lot of accidents. So most of Blizzard's profile is PC based, short of Overwatch. So I think a big part of that is not going to change. There's going to be no change to that. The big Activision titles that are on other systems, I think they'll continue to produce for PlayStation because of the money that they know that brings in. You're basically cutting your profits by, I don't have exact numbers in front of me. Anyway, they made $20.1 billion last year, I think is what, or no, $2.1 billion last year is what Activision made in revenue. So you're buying the company for your IPs, you're buying the company for everything else that they bring to the table. Now, what you said about the quality of the stuff coming out, the only things that I have to say against it, now I think had this been 5 years ago that Xbox did this, it would have been much more damaging to the quality of content. However, Call of Duty's been fucking trash for years now, so I would worry more so about the Blizzard content being good. But the thing that gives me hope is things like Playground Games doing what they do with Forza Horizon, and the actual increase in good content that we've gotten from Fallout 76 since they've been under the Microsoft eye, not necessarily being pushed on it, but also Microsoft has kind of left Bethesda alone. They've given them funding and just said, hey, your shit's exclusive now, but continue to do what you will with it. So I have faith in it. I'm starting to get iffy if you continue to purchase these companies and make these large purchases. Like you said, how is the quality of stuff going to go? Because you're going to end up running out of AAA titles. You basically have, 2 or 3 large AAA studios left. You've got Epic, which I don't even know if I would call them a AAA studio at this point because of the Epic store, being essentially a publisher at this point, and then you have, or whatever you want to call it, and then you have EA and you have Ubisoft, and those are the last 3 big AAA guys.
Lack of console availability plus cost of said systems has made crossplay more important. That's the end of the game here, is that crossplay still has to stay relevant. Like people have been saying, is Bungie going to get bought up by Sony? And that's just not going to happen because Bungie has worked their ass off to make cross-platform a big, big thing. They're not going to sell
off to become independent again, too.
Yeah, so they don't want to be bought by anyone.
Actually, God, how ironic is that? If you would have done this deal a year ago, Microsoft would own Bungie again.
It's just a big week for news, man. Just shit happens. And we're big nerds. We play games, as everyone knows, that's how me and Russ met. Me and Russ met playing fucking Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, Halo, 17 years ago.
RIP Halo 3 servers.
Mm-hmm. Those went down, finally.
15 years, almost.
Yeah, but that's going to do
Guys,
it for
we need
us
to get it
this
back
week.
to what... No. Don't stop the show. We have one more thing to talk about.
Okay, give me 1 second. Go ahead.
I need... Where'd he go? He's gone? He died?
I'm here.
I needed his thoughts on Cody Rhodes. We didn't talk about Cody Rhodes at all on the show today. I feel like we needed Clint's opinion on.
On what?
Clint, what'd you think of Cody Rhodes' promo? Ethan said that he thought it was one of the best promos he's ever heard, and we just wanted to hear your thoughts on the Cody Rhodes promo tonight.
Oh, my thoughts are very simple. Anytime Cody Rhodes comes on the TV, this is what I think.
Shut the fuck up!
Plain and simple. I hated it. I hated every
What
fucking
will you
minute.
do if Cody Rhodes comes out at the Royal Rumble?
I'll come on here and eat crow.
Will he take the TNT title onto the Royal Rumble?
If he
What are
wins
the
next week,
premium TV event?
yeah. If he wins next week, yes. If not, then no.
Does he drop it in the trash can like Medusa?
He wouldn't pull that shit. He's got too much respect for a company that he helped build. If he goes over and does this thing with WWE, it's just because he's a free agent. He's trying to drum up business. Like, oh, I can show up anywhere. Like that's the end and be all. He's gonna be in the Rumble if he shows up for like 20 minutes.
Will he show up at GCW?
No.
That would be the ultimate fuck you move from Vince
If he shows
to
up,
Hunter.
he's attacking Matt
Moxley.
Cardona.
He's attacking Moxley. Wait. Hey, this is an actual thought. This is for like a few weeks from now. We want Hangman to have an opponent. Moxley makes a good opponent. If Moxley decides to go back to the heel character that he was going to be before he went to rehab, does Moxley versus Hangman do it for you for Revolution through Double or Nothing? Can we
Yes.
get like a 3 to 6 month run of those two head to head?
I think you can give about a month and a half because I think what you're going to have to do after a pay-per-view is give him another TV title contender. Someone like fucking Ethan Page or Scorpio Sky. They seem to be expendable. I'm not saying them. I'm saying someone like them.
It doesn't do it for me.
And then after that, you have just fucking Moxley just rank up wins, become the number one contender. It just goes naturally. And then, yes, you have them go at each other's throats for 6 weeks.
I need Adam Cole or CM Punk to have the title for Moxley to do that. Adam Cole if Moxley's going to be a face, CM Punk if Moxley's going to be a heel.
I have an actual prediction. You ready?
Last
I
thing of
think
the
that
night.
at some point in the next 2 months, we are going to see Cody Rhodes cut a deal with Tony Khan that his next contract is going to remove the provision that he can't challenge for the world title.
Yeah,
And that's where we're going.
that's 100% where we're going with this. And he'll challenge Hangman, and he'll lose.
I think he wins.
Well, that's something we can talk about when we get to there because that's right now we've got Beach Break next week. We got the Rumble next week. We got a whole slew of things.
I think he wins because that would chap my ass so bad. And it would, I would be in the same boat. So many other people would be in the same boat. Like, that would be booed out, chairs thrown in the ring. That would be what that is. And that's, they would pan it based upon where he's wrestling out of, too. That's honestly, that's a Philly show
Yeah.
that needs to happen on, is what that is.
But that's going to do
Cody's
it for
gonna
us
need
for the night.
Cody'll need a new theme. He's going to face Ethan Page. Everybody feels the rage. I'm out. Done.
Go and keep singing. I'm just running down everything. I'll end it going through
You
your...
can find him.
Vince
Joy on Broad,
McMahon
that's Russ.
was a Nazi commander. Wow, no. Gunther